Hello and welcome to our first product educational session. So I'm Lucy Vandereed. I'm the co-founder of Mojo & Co with Joe, and we're really excited to be running these fortnightly. So we're going to have a different topic every session, and the idea really is that you can get the most out of your membership and see the wide range of products that are available and how you can use them, and maybe you even already have them and you are just not getting the most out of them. So tonight we're going to be talking about emotions and essential oils. So this is really one of my favorite ways to use my oils is for emotional support. And if we think about it, our physical and our emotional health are just so intertwined that we really can't separate them. So when we are in emotional disarray, it can really show up in our physical body, and vice versa. We really are a combination of mind, body, and spirit, and we need all these parts to be nourished. So using essential oils is such a great tool, and as we know, they are so easily accessible at our fingertips to grab in that moment when we need them. I really feel like emotional health and really nurturing our emotional well-being is such an important thing to do, particularly the way that we live our lives today. We're pretty hectic, we're always on the go, and this can really cause havoc on our emotions. So when we are experiencing emotions in our body, they actually work like chemicals in our body. So they can either have a positive impact, they can either make us feel good and help us, or they can really hurt us. So what we're going to discuss tonight is the emotional aromatherapy kit. So doTERRA put together 6 blends designed to support negative emotions and promote positive emotions. And Joe will talk a little bit more about what is in those kits. So when we're using oils for emotional support, we can still use them in 3 ways that we would usually use oils. So the first way is aromatically, and this is really good for emotional support when we're looking to shift a mood. So as we know, when we use oils and when we inhale them, the compounds react with the limbic system of our brain, which is the emotional control center. So depending on the properties and the chemical makeup of the oil, it can scientifically shift our mood quite instantly. So some oils we'll find will have a calming effect, where others have more of an uplifting impact. Applying topically is really great way emotionally to stimulate self-repair. So when we use oils, I'm always a massive advocate of using them intuitively. So put them wherever feels good, wherever feels right for you. So when we're looking at that emotional support, particularly if we're looking at something like sadness, applying to the heart, where we often can feel physically quite heavy, is a really great spot. Some other good places to apply topically, we know the soles of the feet is a great way, a really quick entry point into the bloodstream. Also, the pulse points are really nice, the back of the neck, there's really no wrong or right. The stomach is also a really nice place to apply for emotional support, because as women, we often, feel the center of our core, of our being, and we can feel a lot of unrest there when we are experiencing something emotionally heavy. Now, internally, we would not be taking any of the oils that we're discussing tonight that are part of the emotional kit internally, but we can use other oils that we may have to complement emotional support. So oils that I would suggest are digestin, again, because when we are feeling emotional unrest, it is often experienced in the stomach, and that may be queasiness, or you may just feel really unsettled. So digestin can help with that. You can have it internally. You could also have it topically. When we are looking at taking oils internally, I always suggest to do your own research, and you have to feel comfortable with it. Certainly make sure that that's something you want to do. The other oil that is really good one to use to complement emotional support is On Guard. And On Guard is the immune support protection blend. And why this is a great one to use is because when we are feeling emotionally heavy, and when we're going through some sort of distress in our life, it can really impact the function of our immune system, and it can be a lot more vulnerable. So using On Guard to give yourself a little bit of extra support in times of heaviness is a great idea. And again, you can take this internally if you feel comfortable, or you can also certainly use it topically. Now, when we're looking at supporting ourselves emotionally, again, oils are certainly part of a bigger picture. So it's just really the simple things, you know, in having enough fresh water, moving your body, exercising, some sort of mindfulness, meditation, and certainly having a healthy diet and supplements. So it's just, you know, it's just one of those tools that we are so lucky to have access to. So we're going to dive into the 6 emotional oils. Jo is going to kick off with one of her favourites, which is Motivate.
Hi everyone, I'm really excited to be talking to you about this beautiful kit because it has completely changed my life, my emotional well-being, and so many people around me too. So doTERRA has selected 6 oils, and they represent 6 common categories of emotional well-being. So you'll see that we have here, and I've actually put a little link in the chat, and you can go onto the poster. It's a beautiful poster. So we've got Passion, which is the inspiring blend. We've got Console, which is the comforting blend. We've got Peace, which is the reassuring blend. We've got Cheer, which is the uplifting blend. Forgive, which is the renewing blend. And Motivate, which is the encouraging blend. So doTERRA, being a bunch of scientists, have strategically selected certain oils to blend together to specifically target those common categories of feelings. So we're very aware that different oils offer different chemical makeup, like Luce mentioned. There's some oils that are very rejuvenating, energizing, renewing, and then there's the oils that are very soothing and grounding. And this is speaking both to our physical well-being and our emotional well-being. And because of our bodies respond to these chemical compounds differently. For example, if you grab a lavender and inhale, you're going to get a different response to if you grab something like a lemon or a lime or a grapefruit. So with the lavender, you're going to feel very calm, and with the citrus-based oils, you're going to feel very uplifted. So blending these different types allows us to really focus in on the type of negative feeling we want to move away from. And that's what this is so brilliant about, this emotional aromatherapy system. So I think firstly, the best way to use this kit is to really identify that feeling. So what's that feeling? So get really specific here. So are you feeling bored? Are you tired? Are you angry? Are you sad? And really try and figure out what that trigger is. It might be a certain type of day. It might be a certain type of person, and just so you can be aware of these emotions, thinking forward too, so you can be able to already be on top of these emotions before they sort of set in. And then what you want to do is connect that feeling that you're having with the correct blend of oil. And because these are so beautifully named, it makes it really easy to do. So for example, if you're feeling sad, you want to grab Cheer because you want to feel cheerful again. And what we want to do is we want to inhale. We want to get that beautiful, beautiful essential oils. We want to smell them, and we want to release that feeling. As Luce mentioned before, that when we're talking about harboring those feelings, and it's now known that emotional trauma has been linked to weakened immune systems and chronic disease in the body. So we really want to move through and release that feeling, and then we want to restore to how we were before that negative emotion took place. So that's what this is all about, and this is what this beautiful kit can really help us for. So I'm going to kickstart with Motivate. I think it's a really beautiful one to start with. If you don't have it, it smells It smells like a mixture of peppermint, and we know when we smell peppermint, we feel very alive, energized. We're very, we wake up when we have peppermint, and then it's blended with beautiful citrus-based oils, so we get that really uplifting feel. So this one has peppermint, it has clementine, yuzu, which is citrus-based, it has coriander, it has basil, it has melissa, rosemary, and vanilla bean. It just smells absolutely gorgeous. So when we want to feel motivate, I call this really your personal cheerleader or your get it done blend. It's when you're feeling a bit stagnant, you might be lacking inspiration, you might be feeling a little bit, bored or uninspired or lacking confidence. This is the one to grab. Okay, so as Liz mentioned, just put it on your pulse points and inhale. And really what it does, it will counteract those negative emotions and help you move through. So ideas when to use it. For example, I woke up this morning, I had to get my oldest to school at 7:30 because she had band practice, and then my youngest said to me, "Oh, Mummy, I haven't finished my homework," and we had to be at school at 7:30. So I felt instantly stressed. Because they do get a lot of homework. And so I applied Peace to me straight away. And then I put her in front of Mathletics and I applied Motivate. And you know what? It's very subtle, but we got through it without me having so it really does work its magic. So I think Motivate is amazing in the morning if you want to diffuse to kickstart your magic morning. It's really good to diffuse in the office or school environment, or if you're preparing for something, like a test or a project. It's really good before sporting events, or maybe you have children that are dancing on stage. So pop it on their pulse points for a real positive search. And another one to use Motivate for is when we're doing those really mundane housekeeping chores. Motivate is a great one to really get it done, get it going, pop in your favourite tunes or maybe your favourite podcasts, and you'll find yourself just getting through it. So that's it from Motivate. Over to you, Liz. I think
sorry, I forgot to unmute myself. So passion is the next one. Passion is one of the second oils I got after my kit. So liked the name of it, and the scent is just to die for. It's often one I will use as perfume because it's got this spicy yet floral aroma. So beautiful. So it's got cardamom, it's got cinnamon, ginger, clove, jasmine, and vanilla. And it is the inspiring blend. So it is created to evoke creativity and this real sense of passion for life. So I think, a lot of us can relate to feeling sometimes like we're in the grind and everything's a bit same, and that can make us feel a bit blah. So passion is a really good one to use to counteract boredom, I guess. I just want to speak briefly about how we can use oils or how oils work for something called sensory memory. So the first time that our brain encounters a scent, it creates something called like a trigger response, and it creates a memory that it associates with that scent. So this is really good to know because what we can do is we can manipulate situations, positively manipulate situations, so that we are using our oils to really benefit and really impact our life. So I will give you an example of how we could do that. So the first time we smell passion, we are keeping top of mind that it is to inspire and to feel creative and to feel positive and optimism and all those sort of positive things. And so when we're applying it, that's the thought that's going on in our minds, and our brain, because it's so clever, is connecting the scent of passion to those feelings. So then when we are using passion, and because of its amazing aroma, we could use it as a daily perfume and apply it in the morning to our pulse points. And that is starting our day in a really, really positive way because our brain is automatically connecting that scent with all these positive things. So it's a really, really beautiful way to use your oils. Because passion also is inspiring creativity, it is a great one to be diffusing. So particularly in times when you want to lean into your creativity, perhaps while you're working or creating something, or even cooking in the kitchen, something, that you can create a really inspiring sort of environment. So passion is definitely, I always say, one of my favourites, but it certainly would be up there in one of the top 10. What have you got next, Jo?
Awesome. Okay. All right. So I'm going to chat about Forgive, which is my all-time favourite oil out of every oil that doTERRA offers. It's quite polarizing, this oil. Some people love it. Some people grow to love it, like I did. At the start, I wasn't too sure, but now I just can't get enough, and I absolutely love it. So Forgive is the renewing blend, and it smells like sort of like a lush rainforest. And it's all about letting go. It's about forgiving yourself, and it's about forgiving others, and it's about leaving those negative feelings in the past. So this is really good if you have some sort of emotional trauma from your childhood, any bad relationships in the past. Forgive is all about letting go. It's really, really beautiful. So I think to use it, you might find yourself being a little bit cynical. You might be judging people, or maybe seeing them in a negative light, or even feeling justified to blame others for your misfortune or for your own, personal situation. So overcoming, as I mentioned, overcoming difficult relationships, it's all about just letting it go. It's really, really beautiful. So Forgive is, the chemical makeup is from trees and from herbs. And it's really, the chemical makeup makes it very renewing and very toning. So the oils really get in there, and obviously they're helping us physically, but they're helping us emotionally too. So really beautiful. It has a mixture of bergamot, juniper berry, myrrh, arbor vitae, which is a beautiful, huge, tall tree in Canada, thyme and citronella. So so when you use it, it's when you need, obviously, to let go. As I mentioned before, we don't want to harbour those horrible, those really negative emotions. If you feel like you need to be a little bit more patient, it's really good in a meditation practice to provide some really positive, to stir up some positive emotions in your practice. I think it's a really good one if you're a mum and you're feeling very frustrated, and you get really and you might lash out at your kids, or it could be your husband, your partner, or work colleagues, or whatever. Forgive is the one to grab, because obviously we feel guilt after that, so we don't want to keep that guilt with us. We want to let it go. Like, nobody's perfect. You've got your Forgive. It's like it's like it's got your back. It gets you through those very trying times. So over to you, Liz.
Awesome. So next is Console, and Console, I have read, is described like a big warm hug. It's the comforting blend, and it has oils including frankincense, rose, patchouli, ylang ylang, and sandalwood, and it really does. It just has this really, really comforting aroma. So it's designed to support times of loss, where you're feeling loss, when you're feeling sad, when you're experiencing grief, and it's really designed to lend us a more positive view and some strength in the difficult time. So when we're looking at using oils for support, as Jo said, they don't do the fixing, they don't make everything okay, but what they do is they create the positive properties, create more of a positive feeling inside us, and they also create the right environment for us to work through whatever we need to. So if you are experiencing a really hard time of sadness, grief, perhaps you're heartbroken, you can use Console, and you can use it in a way where you can, you could be diffusing it, you could apply some topically onto your heart, you could then, do some journaling to release those emotions and really work through the problem. You can meditate, and you're creating this sort of comforting and supported environments to do that in. It's also really good to think about when we're using these oils for emotional support, we're looking for we're supporting ourselves in a positive way. And, you know, a lot of people do the exact opposite. And when things get tough, they push down their emotions and they will, you know, lean into things that don't serve us. So anything that we can do that is positive is definitely an awesome step. So another thing that Console does is, because it's an oil that really is designed for these sort of more difficult times when we're dealing with, you know, real grief. When we're applying it over the heart, we can also remind ourselves to be patient in healing. So nothing is instant, particularly when you are working through something really difficult. It's a really good reminder to, you know, to be patient with yourself. I have given Console to quite a few people as a gift when they're going through a really tough time, because I think as a friend, you know, it's really hard when you see someone struggling and there's nothing that you can do. Obviously, you can be there and provide an ear, but giving them Console, and I really do like the touch one for Console, you know, because they can have it in their handbag and lean into it in those times when they need it. So yeah, Console is just a really, really beautiful, comforting oil.
All right. So I'm going to now talk about chia, which smells absolutely incredible. It has been referred to as sunshine in the bottle, or your smells so good, or your bright and bubbly best friend. Now this is all. It's even hard to say what it smells like. It's citrus and spice, so it's really uplifting. It's very warm and inviting. The chemical compounds are known for very uplifting properties. So it is the uplifting blend. It's the key ingredients are wild orange. It's got clove in it. It's got lemon myrtle. It's got nutmeg. It's got vanilla bean and cinnamon bark. So it's all about, you know, moving through those dark and dreary days. We all have them. We can all have days where we feel a little bit sad for no known reason, and chia is the one to grab. It's really, really beautiful. So when I use chia, I think it's a really beautiful one to diffuse in at home to create a more positive vibe. If you feel like the vibe's dropping at home or in in your office or even in the schoolroom, chia is the one to grab. It really does uplift those vibes. It's a beautiful one to diffuse in when you're driving. If you don't have a car diffuser, you can even pop it on a couple of cotton balls and, you know, put it in your car next to the vent. It's a good one for the kids to take. You know, even put on a little handkerchief for them to wear at school. I have given, like Luce mentioned, she's a beautiful one as a tangible little gift to someone that's feeling a little bit sad or is going through something, that's a little bit stressful for them. Chia is really beautiful and uplifting. It also blends really well with wild orange and Douglas fir in the diffuser. And it's a good morning blend, I think. What I love about these oils is, you know, you might wake up in maybe not so great mood, but we've got these little tools here to really move through it very quickly, so it doesn't take out your whole day. So really, yeah, absolutely love chia. It's one of my favourites. Really beautiful.
And the last one we have is Peace. So Peace is the reassuring blend. This is probably, after lavender, I would say one of the most used oils in our home. It's just got this gorgeous scent. It's got vetiver, frankincense, ylang ylang, lavender spearmint, and clary sage. So it's florally yet minty. This, being the reassuring blend, is going to support feelings of anxiety, worry, and really good for feelings of overwhelm. So, you know, at every workshop I do, there's usually someone who will identify with anxiety, or perhaps it might be stress, that they will, you know, identify as being one of the main pain points in their life. And anxiety is just, it really is an epidemic at the moment. So the stats say it's 1 in every 7 in Australia, but I think this is probably a conservative number. So having something, again, it's not a quick fix, but having a tool that we can access at any moment is just so, so valuable. And peace works really beautifully with mindful practices or even just breathing. And so being able to carry it around in your handbag, and in those moments when you are hit with a feeling of anxiousness or worry or overwhelm, you can just pop some in your hand and cup your cup your nose and just have a really deep breath. And again, as we spoke about how the oils work with our limbic system, we can really quite quickly shift that sort of fear that can really be so debilitating. And you know, we also know how anxiety really affects our physical health too. So being able to use this is going to just have a really massive flow-on effect into other parts of your life and health as well. And as we've said, you know, the kids are so responsive to oils. So both of my children who are at school will have a peace roller in their backpacks, and it's that whole empowering thing of identifying emotions or knowing, you know, if you've got to speak in front of the class. And same for us, if we have to do a presentation or something that we find quite daunting, we know that we've got something that is going to, on a physical level, you know, help calm us down. So it's just, you know, it's a really empowering oil. And we can also use this in a proactive capacity. So sometimes if we know we've got a big day and there's a lot on, and there's a tendency that we may feel overwhelmed at some stage in the day because we've packed our day out, then we can use it on the soles of our feet. So we are preempting what may be about to unfold, and we are helping to prepare our body before it gets too stressed. So the peace roller is also something that I love to gift people with, because I'm yet to meet a person who has not fallen deeply in love with peace.
Yes. Mm-hmm. All right. So there we have it. We have the 6 beautiful oils. Make sure you have a look at that link that I've put in the chat, because it has a beautiful poster. If you are interested in purchasing, please refer back to the person that brought you to our webinar. If it's us, please send us an email and we can get you started. But basically the kit comes with either in touch rollerballs, which I love. You can either buy them singularly or as a kit, or you can buy them as Liz showed you in a pack of 5 mils. So yeah, so there we have it, the six oils. And if you've got any other questions, yeah, please reach out to us.
Awesome. So our next webinar, if I've been looking down at all, I've got this in my lap. You had a cat in the background.
I've got my kitten in the background.
Our next webinar will be, we're going to dive into cleaning. So we're going to talk about some DIYs and some other awesome On Guard products that are available. And that's scheduled for Wednesday, the 3rd of April. So we will again be recording. So if you miss it, you can always watch the recording after. All right. Thanks for joining us.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.